Hello and welcome to my reading for today. This is a general reading, and what I thought I would do is something different. I thought I would have 4 piles, and so you can pick a pile, that anything that you're drawn to, or you can listen to all of them and then figure out which one that resonates the most. So I just thought a bit of fun. And again, when I've said before, it's just more practice for me as I get to connect more to my intuition in reading the cards. So I will go through all the different crystals that we have here. So you can pick the pile. There's a pile here with a beautiful selenite stone. So if you like the selenite, and again, I will always say, just bear with me, read my camera. I am hopefully going to find a solution to, I know it's not the best camera, but I will find a solution at some point. But again, this is a great practice for me. So that's selenite, pile 1. Pile 2 is lapis. Lapis, beautiful lapis stone. I wish you could see it for real because it is just gorgeous. It has flecks of gold in it. It's just absolutely stunning. I'm very partial to lapis. The next stone we have is citrine. Again, I wish you could see it in person because it's absolutely stunning. It has a beautiful kind of orangey hue in it. It's very, very beautiful. And it's rough. I like the rough stuff. I like them both. I like the polished ones and the rough one. And then last we have pistachio opal, which again, I wish you could see in real life because it's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So those are the 4 crystals. So if something catches your eye and you think, oh, that's my favorite crystal, or the color, or the shape, or whatever. So those are the 4 piles. And what I'm going to do, again, I'm trying something new. I'm just going to pause through each reading so then I can get the cards ready for you. So have a moment to think which pile that you'd like to go for, and let's get started with the first reading. Oh, I'm sorry, I should forget. I'm forgetting here. This is pile 1, this is pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. See, I'm getting used to it. I'm getting practice. Anyway, right. Okay, if you picked pile 1, which is the selenite stone, these are the cards that came up today. So the first card we have is the Devil. Okay, the second card we have is the 7 of Swords. And the last card in this pile we have is the Magician. So when these cards came up, I just went with my first gut reaction, and what I would say is there maybe a time, or maybe recently, have you been tempted by distraction? Maybe you have certain jobs to do or tasks to do, or maybe you want to find a new career, but you're being a bit lazy and procrastinating. And letting distractions kind of run your life a bit. So maybe you enjoy certain TV shows or films, or maybe you like to go down the pub and see your friends, or maybe you like to go out and, your distraction might be to go shopping, or it might be to go out to dinner and do lots of socializing. So this card asks you to have a look at your life and see, is there some area of your life that you are wanting to move forward, but actually there's a little bit of procrastination going on because of the distractions, and you're going or the distractions are actually getting more of your time and energy than the things that you want to achieve or want to do, or maybe things you need to do. And so this card is asking you to have a look at your life and see, is there anything that is actually tempting you with your time and energy and money and resources that maybe you need to have a look at and rebalance yourself. So the second card that comes up in this reading is the 7 of Swords. So the 7 of Swords talks to me of, well, there's that saying, what is it? Procrastination is the, I can't remember the saying. Isn't it the procrastination is the enemy of time? I think it is. I'd have to look it up. So this is saying, whatever it is that you're choosing to divert your attention to, is it stealing all of your time, energy, resources, money, etc., etc.? So the character on here is carrying all the swords. And they notice 2 more swords here. But what I'm feeling about the mood of the card, looking at the card, is I would say is there's something that is taking away your time and attention and resources. When it could be better spent. So this card asks you to, again, have a look at your life and say, where am I right now? What is it that I want to do? Is this what I want to be doing? Is I just want to be online playing games or reading books? Okay, nothing wrong with reading books, but if you know that you want to actually get the garden started, it's March, and perhaps you know that, well, ideally you should start digging your beds or whatever it is you need to do. So this card asks you to have a look at your life and see where you feel like you're kind of being dragged down a little bit by a distraction in your life. And the last card that comes up is it's the thief of time. See, I knew it would come to me. Procrastination is the thief of time, but here I'm seeing that the thief of time is the distraction as well. Procrastination, distraction, temptation. So the last card that comes up is the magician, and the magician says that if you look at your life and you look at where you need to be focusing your time, energy, money, resources, attention, then you'll kind of the answer, the magician kind of speaks of that everything is within you. So the answers of getting back on track are actually within you. And sometimes when we're in this place here, we might feel a little overburdened, or we might be in a little bit of a fear place because we don't really know how to move ahead. We want that different job. We want that different house. We want to live somewhere else. We want to do different things in our lives. But we actually, it's easier to do the distraction than it is to actually get back on track. And the magician says, it's okay. You know, if you want to get back on track, you just have to decide to do it, because everything that you need, all the tools, all the gifts, all the strengths, they're all within you. You just need to make a decision to move forward in the direction that you want so that you can achieve those things in life you want, whether it's a certain relationship or a certain job, or, as I say, where you want to live, or anything like that. So very good reading, I think. So if that resonates with you, I hope you found some value in it. So now let's go to group 2. Welcome to group 2. So group 2 was the beautiful lapis stone. So group 2, we start off with the Emperor card. And the Emperor card it's the card of kind of having a balance of it all. So the Emperor is not only very learned. You can see he's got scrolls here, so he's actually doing so there's some scrolls here on the ground. He's actually very learned, so he has a great balance of using his intuition, his intelligence, his wisdom. You can see by the picture, he's an older guy, so of course he has wisdom on his side, but he's also very benevolent, because if you notice, there's 2 animals in the picture. There's a dog here, and there's a cat somewhere there. Where's the cat? Where's the cat? Oh, on his lap. He's also very benevolent, because the animals there in his world are very relaxed in his company. So he is kind of like the epitome of everything, a balance of everything. He's wise, he's intelligent, he's benevolent, he has his emotional intelligence as well. So this is saying that perhaps you have a grounding or a past where you've always been able to look at things in a very even, measured way. So if ever any kind of problems came into your life, you were able to sit back and say, okay, I've had this experience, or I have this wisdom, or I can research this thing because I'm smart enough to find the books and find the resources to do it, and always taking things in a very equal and measured way whenever you've had things that are coming up to challenge you in life. Again, it could be career, it could be relationships, it could be anything. So then it goes on to the 8 of Wands. So the 8 of Wands is asking you, well, is there maybe something in your life right now where you're feeling a little bit like you're in a literal tornado? So maybe you've always done well at work, so hence the Emperor card could be your career. Maybe you've always had a very balanced and stable career, but now you feel like you are literally, I know she's not really juggling these. The wind's carrying away her wands, but maybe right now you feel like everything is just being blown away. You're finding it hard to maintain certain deadlines. You're finding it hard to do the certain regular tasks that you always had to do. Maybe your resources, your time is being taken on too many putting out fires, you know, at work, you've got all these issues going on, or maybe it's in a relationship. Maybe in the past, relationships always been easy for you, but right now you're in relationships, whether they're friends or whether they're family or whether it's a love relationship, and it just feels like you're in a literal storm and you don't know where the end of it is going to be. And sometimes we're in the midst of something, we're just feeling the feels. So we don't have the ability, like the emperor, to sit back and look at things from a very wise or very measured or very intellectual way, because we're just feeling feels when something kind of comes at us and we're absorbed in all of this kind of fury. So the next card that comes up is the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords could be a message, but it could also be a literal person. And I see the Queen of Swords as someone who maybe someone in your life already, or it could be someone that could come into your life. So the Queen of Swords I see as someone who is a mentor that maybe could come into your life, or maybe it's someone you already know, as I said. Maybe someone that you just need to ask and say, look, I am juggling, or yeah, I'm juggling all these things, or I'm feeling like life is just getting on top of me because I have all this stuff and I can't balance it anymore. Maybe the Queen of Swords can come in and help you somehow get to the bottom of how to get out of that fury that you're feeling of you know, all the different tasks that are going around, or all of the issues that are going around. And the Queen of Swords, you know, she's got her sword here, so she gets to the point of the issue. She is very heart-centered, the Queen of Swords, so she will lovingly share whatever help you need, advice, but the swords it points to very much of an intellectual thing. So the Queen of Swords will look at it in a very measured way, and sometimes when you have someone looking from the outside into whatever's going on, they will see things at a different perspective. And so the Queen of Swords, as I said, could represent someone in your life, usually an older woman. It doesn't have to be a woman, but it's usually it can be an older woman, and maybe it's just you need to ask for help. This mentor's there, she's waiting, he's waiting. Just ask for help. Just say, hey, I'm juggling all this stuff, or all of these things are getting on top of me, all these requirements and responsibilities, and I just can't do it anymore. The Queen of Swords is just waiting for you to say, hey, can you help me out and get my life back into balance? So that's what I'm getting from the reading 2 for pile 2. So let's go on to pile 3. Okay, pile 3 was this beautiful citrine crystal. And what pile 3 starts off with is the Fool card. So the Fool card is saying, was there a time, maybe recently, where you decided to just go for it, whether it's a relationship or a career or a move or some sort of change in your life. So the Fool is somebody who has who's very much connected to their childlike wonder, and they are full of adventure, ready to go. They might wake up one morning and say, hey, I'm going to go do this. So has there been a time where you've just thought, you know what, I hate what I'm doing for a living. I'm just going to try this new thing that I learn about and I feel really confident with. So the Fool is saying in this respect, is there some time recently where you've just thought, I'm going to give it a go? And I said, it could be a relationship, it could be a job, whatever. So maybe you've given a new relationship a go, you've met someone, there's a spark, and you think, yeah, I'm going to go for it. So that's the first card. The second card is the Three of Swords. Now the Three of Swords speaks of a time of, it could be disappointment or sadness. So there's actually, as you see, no individual in the picture. So what it's saying is that the person is feeling full of maybe disappointment, or feeling a little bit jaded by whatever decision. So they've written in their diary here how they're feeling, perhaps, and then they've gone off to either just feel sorry for themselves, or maybe they've gone off to try and find solutions somewhere. And you can't really see because, as I said, my camera's not great, but it is raining out the window. And then here we've got 3 swords that are being literally stabbed in a heart. So a lot of times this card can denote heartbreak. So that's why I said the Fool could be the entering into a new relationship. So maybe things aren't going as well as you thought for whatever endeavor that you decided to just throw caution to the wind and start. Maybe you had such high hopes and it's just not going the way you need it to go, and you don't know what to do. You're feeling at a loss. So the Three of Swords speaks of, reaching rock bottom. What do I do now? So that's, I don't know, can that relate to somehow where you're feeling in one part of your life? And then the next card that comes up is the Three of Pentacles. So the Three of Pentacles is saying, is there maybe someone, again, like the last deck the last group that I picked, is there maybe someone or some people that can help you kind of get out of that situation? Sometimes when we're in the thick of it, so when we're here and we're feeling really emotional, and when we're feeling like we've failed in whatever endeavor we've decided to go on to, we're in the emotional state. So sometimes what we need is people to kind of look outside, who are outside of us, to look objectively. So here you've got these three witches who all have drawn a pentacle on the wall. Each of them have their own way of looking at it. Each of them have a viewpoint, and they're all very valid. They all have a creative solution to whatever it is, the project that's going on here. So maybe that there are a person or some people in your life that can look at your problem and your situation from their perspective and maybe guide you, advise you, even just to listen to you. So that denotes to me is just somebody that actually can just listen that's being very open-minded. They're not going to judge that, hey, you started off on this adventure and, you should have thought about getting a loan from the bank or doing this or doing that. But that's, sometimes in life we just want to try things. So this denotes that there will be support of people who are not going to judge how you started your adventure, but will help you get out of the difficulty that you're having here. So that's what I get for pile 3. So pile 4 was this beautiful, beautiful pistachio opal, which I absolutely adore. So pile 4 starts off with the King of Swords. So the King of Swords is it could represent you, it could represent someone else in your life, or it could just be a message about how you deal with things or handle things. So let's say you have a decision to be made in life. So your approach to that would be very much in the intellect. It would be to research things. You can see that there's loads of books on the floor. He's got a book here. So the King of Swords is the kind of individual that's going to research things a lot. They're going to weigh things up. They're going to always act in a way that is from truth, a point of truth and integrity. They want to get to the bottom of the truth, but they will weigh up anything that needs to be accomplished. So what I'm feeling about this card is there's some sort of decision in your life that needs to be made. Could be a career. Maybe you want to go for a certain job and there's 2 opportunities that have come up. So this talks about weighing things up in a very intellectual way. Do you maybe take too much time going over and over and over things, analyzing, and then analyzing again, and then maybe waiting a day and thinking, oh wait, I didn't think of these other couple of things. So the King of Swords could be maybe there's some decision to be made, and instead of just saying, okay, I've done a bit of research and I'm going to make a decision, are you maybe over analyzing it? Because the next card that comes up to me kind of speaks of maybe get out of the thinky brain. So this is the Hermit, and the Hermit tells us that we need to connect with our intuitive selves. So it's all fine and well to analyze things and to do graphs and pie charts and whatever we need in order to make a decision to go forward in our life, whether it's relationship, career, or whatever choices that we're making. But the Hermit says, you know what, you're missing one little bit. It's fine to think about these things, but you're missing one little bit, and that's your intuition. So the Hermit invites you to use your intuition in order to make a decision to move forward. So maybe you've done a lot of analyzing lately, but maybe it's time to just get quiet and think about what do I feel about this situation? How would I feel about if I went for choice A versus choice B, rather than thinking about it and looking at the facts and figures and saying, well, this is the dollar figure, or this is the analytical side of it. So the Hermit asks us to connect to our intuition, which will never lie to us, but also we might make a completely different decision with our intuition because it's speaking from a different part of us. So the next card that comes up is the Empress, and the Empress speaks of a very fertile time and a time of creation. So what I'm getting from this reading is it's fine and well to analyze things, but don't take it too far, because you've got to connect also with what you feel about to make a certain decision. And if you go with your gut feeling, but in a measured way, do the intellectual stuff, but in a measured way, then you will enter a time of creativity and abundance and fertility. And it's a time for things to be birthed and to grow and, as I say, create. And it's interesting because out of all four of these readings that I did, when I picked the cards and had a look at them and kind of felt what I got from them, this one kind of resonated with me the most, because there is something that I'm being presented with at the moment, and I'm thinking about it a lot. And I'm thinking, well, I could do this and I could do that, but this is a downside and that's a downside, and I need to just get quiet and think, well, what would I feel if it went this way? If this thing came into my life, how would I feel about it? And so I feel, I've got to start getting too much out of it, getting away from the thinky brain and getting into this. And it's interesting because this card really spoke to me, the picture being a fertile time, being a time of rebirth, not in a physical sense for me, but it's a rebirth of a project. And I'm just thinking, okay, so it's saying to me, if I just but if I just feel, what do I feel about it? Would I be happy if this project went ahead, or would I be unhappy if it went ahead? So this reading out of all of them spoke to me the most. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that reading, and I hope whatever pile you picked, it resonated with you in some way. And please do put some comments below if you enjoyed it and if it resonated. And I look forward to doing another reading for you again. Thank you very much for listening, and namaste.